So real quick, who has read Ninja Selling? Not to call anybody out here. Who has read Ninja Selling top to bottom? Read the full thing of Ninja Selling so far? Okay, Brad, Christina hasn't. I don't know if Ryan has the book or not. And
No, I don't have the book.
Okay, have you read it all the way through?
I'll say no, I don't have the book.
Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, it's a great book that was introduced to me by Shane and by Mark Chambers. Colin, I think is getting in today. So I really recommend it. I've read it 2 times through. And what I noticed when I was reading my books was that I would read it. It was great information. I'd find little nuggets that motivated me for that day. But then I was like, I wasn't implementing what I was reading. All right. So the second time around, I would read for 30 minutes while highlighting the book. All right. And then after that 30 minutes, I would take time and start creating this Google Doc and jotting down pretty much the highlights of whatever I read that day. And it turned into a 15-page document that we're pretty much going to go through. So this is what I call the Cliff Notes version of Ninja Selling, right? So we're just going to kind of go through this. I want to point out a couple of different things. I think there's tons of great information. And this is honestly a little bit of a review for myself because it's been a minute. I've read several of the books since the last time I read Ninja Selling, but I like to go back into this and go, oh yeah, that's really good. And I need to make sure I'm doing that. So at any point, I'll try to put a little spacers in between chunks of this to where you go, hey, can you talk about that for a minute? Or, hey, I have a question about what does that mean? These are just bullet points that I jotted down that I think are very beneficial. Hey, Mark, how you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm trying to figure out my audio so I could take this headset off, but I couldn't figure it out on the fly. So, okay. And it looks really dark. It looks like a very gloomy place that I'm in. Okay, that looks better.
Cool. Well, Mark also will probably chime in from time to time. Mark has actually attended the Ninja installation program to where it's like a 3-day event or something like that. And it is a full day of practicing the Ninja 9, talking about it more in depth. And this is not going to give you everything. This is going to give you the bullet points. And then I definitely recommend you going and reading through and getting more in depth with what we're going to cover today. So Mark, you are the ninja expert, and I try to practice it, and I'm working my way to becoming a full-time ninja. So let's get started. The first part of the book, principle 1, is personal mastery. All right, and it has a lot to do with your mindset and your mood. So the 3 keys to mastery and success in your life is your mindset, and you're going to hear that a lot because it really makes a difference, right? You obviously have to have a skill set of communication, all right, of knowing what your market looks like, knowing the nuts and bolts of things, and then your actions, right? If you have all the knowledge in the world, but you're not really taking any action of talking to people, then it's not going to really get you very far. I want to go through this real quick. This is my affirmations, and I'm not going to go through all of my affirmations. It's been a while since I've visited this, but obviously they're personal, nothing crazy. But I'm disciplined. I do my daily habits when I wake up, and exercise my daily goals, etc. So you can come up with your own, very similar to this. But at the bottom, I think in the first chapter of Ninja Selling is this, I guess, like a poem type of thing. It's called Mastery, right? And I'm going to read it real quick. And they challenge you. I think part of the Ninja installation is like for 30 days straight, you're to read this to yourself, read it out loud or whatever it is. And I did it pretty consistently. And it kind of just ingrained some things. But mastery in one's career and consciousness growth simply requires that we constantly produce results beyond and out of the ordinary. Mastery is a product of consistently going beyond our limits. For most people, it starts with technical excellence in a chosen field and a commitment to that excellence. If you're willing to commit yourself to excellence to surround yourself with things that represent this and miracles, your life will change. When we speak of miracles, we speak of events or experiences in the real world which are beyond the ordinary. It's remarkable how much mediocrity we live with, surrounding ourselves with daily reminders that the average is the acceptable. Our world suffers from terminal normality. Take a moment to assess all of the things around you that promote you being average. These are the things that keep you powerless to go beyond a limit you are arbitrarily set for yourself. The first step to mastery is the removal of everything in your environment that represents mediocrity, removing those things that are limiting. One way is to surround yourself with friends who ask more of you than you do. Didn't some of your best teachers, coaches, parents, etc.? Another step on the path to mastery is the removal of resentment towards masters. Develop compassion for yourself so that you can be in the presence of masters and grow from the experience. Rather than comparing yourself and resenting people who have mastery, remain open and receptive. Let the experience be like the planting of a seed within you that, with nourishment, will grow into your own individual mastery. You see, we are all ordinary, but a master, rather than condemning himself for his ordinariness, will embrace it and use it as a foundation for building the extraordinary. Rather than using it as an excuse for inactivity, he will use it as a vehicle for correcting, which is essential in the process of attaining mastery. You must be able to correct yourself without invalidating or condemning yourself, to accept results and improve upon them. Correct, don't protect. Correction is essential to power and mastery. All right. I still struggle with some of this, but it's a daily reminder to go, hey, you can always grow. There's always the next step. Sometimes I'm on Facebook and I see all these other realtors that I'm friends with that are like having all these successes, and I get down on myself. And it's like, I shouldn't compare myself to them. I should compare myself to who I was yesterday or who I've been in the past and grow from there. All right. I just wanted to share that real quick, and then we're going to go back to these little nuggets here. A lot of this is, I'm going to be honest, a lot of this is just going to be reading kind of to you, write down, instead of taking the time for you to read these bullets. But I'm going to maybe emphasize some more than others as they kind of speak to me. Be a player, not a victim. All right. I'm a sender and a receiver. So we always have a vibe. Are we giving off a positive vibe, or are we giving off a negative vibe? So that's super important. And you want to surround yourself with like-minded thoughts and people. That's kind of what I like about building this team here, is every single week we're checking in and talking and discussing the activity. Stay in a high positive quadrant. In the book, they have a little graph that talks about that. It's the performance quadrant. Happiness, inspiration, confidence, love, positive expectation, cool, confident, positive, and focused. All right. Set a ritual to get yourself into the performance mindset. So we a lot of times find ourselves not in that quadrant, right? We're in a bad mood, something happened, we're just not in the right mindset. These are ways for you to shift yourself back into the positive quadrant. All right. Giving gratitude, all right, being thankful for what you have. Exercise. Some people turn on their favorite music, to get them moving. Tony Robbins talks about movement. Get out of your chair and just start moving. Energy produces energy. All right. So if you're laying in bed going, oh God, I don't want to do this. Well, as long as you lay there, yeah, nothing's going to happen, right? You're just going to perpetuate that over and over and over. I was there this morning, and then I go, I got to get up. I got to get up. And then I started doing one thing that led to the next thing that led to this and that. All right. So force yourself to do that. Get out and get some fresh air. Read something, YouTube something motivational. Just watching something will trigger you and go into it. And every now and then you need a mental check, right? You need a mental break. So let's say you're grinding for 2-3 hours, everything's going well, and then you kind of find yourself in a rut. It's okay to step away for 30 minutes. And my little escape is to go play a quick video game and come right back. As long as I don't let myself turn it into 2, 3, 4, 5 video games before I come back. All right. But it's taking a lunch break, a solid hour, just turn on the TV, and then make sure that at this time I'm going back to it. All right. Being around positive people, mentors, and coaches. Develop a routine and do it every day. All right. Give gratitude. We talked about a lot of these things before. Positive reading. A lot of the things that I've talked about in the past have kind of come from this ninja selling. So you're probably going to see a lot of things kind of on repeat, but I think it's valuable. Watch something positive. Stay away from social media. I find myself doing this all the time, and you probably do too. One of the first things you do when you wake up is look at your phone, and you might hit Instagram or Facebook, and then you just scroll and you see something that just kind of takes you in a tunnel, right? In a bad direction. Um, my best days are I purposely don't look at any of that. I purposely get up, work out. I don't even look at my email. All right. I don't look at anything on my phone really. I use it as my alarm clock went off. Now I'm going on to the next thing. All right. But do that. Affirmations and visualizations are strong, definitely help out. And then the 2 personal notes, which we'll talk about in a little bit. Program yourself every day to be vibrating with positivity. All right. Sometimes this is easier said than done, but we gave you ways of how to get you back into that mindset. All right. Have an attitude of gratitude. It's another day in paradise. And Rick Tankersley, everybody in San Antonio, he's doing a live training next week. I'll give you more information on that in the group. But he always says it's a great day to be in real estate. All right. And pretty much every day to be your own boss, even if you're not having a great day. I thought about this the other day. I was like, the thought of going back to a job that I have to report somewhere and report to somebody, that scares the hell out of me. I do not want to do that. All right. And that's fine for some people. But it is a great day to be in real estate because you are your own boss and you control your destiny. All right. The power of Ross reticular activated system, whatever you focus on expands. So if you're focusing on good positive things are going to happen. And if you focus on bad things, it just seems to snowball in the opposite direction. All right. Focus on landing on the green and not in the bunkers or the trees. They talk about that, like sports is a visualization. I'm visualizing myself making a free throw. Or do I step up to the free throw line and go, oh God, I hope I don't miss this? And the same thing happens in business, right? So don't pick up the phone going, oh God, I hope they don't scream and yell at me. Pick up the phone and go, man, they're going to pick up and they're going to want to buy, right? I'm going to talk to a buyer right now. And just keep going. Like if they didn't pick up, the next one's going to pick up and they're going to be ready to go or whatever it is. All right. So focus on the positive. Make a list of what brings you joy, and that's your why. All right. It could be your family. It could be possessions that you want to earn. Whatever it is. But have something that motivates you, and different things motivate different people. So find what motivates you. Responsibility. I'm responsible for things I can control. I control my thoughts, my beliefs, and my actions. Right. There's a lot of things out of our control. All right. That I can control my response to them. Things are going to happen to you that aren't good. You're going to lose out on a deal. Your commission's going to be cut. You're going to blah, blah, blah. But how do you respond to them? All right. So many people, and I give my parents a hard time. They had some things with their new build that just happened and they're pissed off and they're, yelling and pissed off at the builder and this and that. And I'm like, yeah, but you talking poorly to these people is really not going to do anything, to benefit this. Like, how are we going to react to this? 5 things that will shape my future. Thought this is cool. The people you meet, I'm sure you've heard this, but the people that your 5 closest people, all right, are the product of what your business is going to look like. All right. So surrounding yourself with people above you, people that have done it for 2, 3, 4, 5 years, 10 years. All right. Brian Edwards has been doing this, I think, almost a decade. All right. So you want to be in connection with him, ask him questions. Feel free to reach out. Every time I've reached out to him, he's been awesome. So take advantage of surrounding yourself with people above you. The places you go, when you travel, you feel more grateful for what you have. All right. And that could be local, that could be international, whatever it is. The books you read are going to define you and shape you. What are you listening to? What are you programming your mind to? Your habits. All right. I've been trying to consistently work out, and like it's not just, oh, I'm going to do this 4-week program or I'm going to do this 8-week program. My goal is to I consistently work out for the remainder of my life, as long as I can. Right. That is my habit. That's what I do. All right. That is who I am. And your thoughts, we become what we think about. All right. Visualize success and speak it to reality. This is a cool little formula. I think about this is the power of focus. They talk obviously more in depth with all these things. But if you're 60% focused and 40% distracted, you're going to do like 1.5 times work. All right. But if you up it, and even if you're still somewhat distracted, 20%, but you up it to 80% focus, you're going to now be doing 4 times the work. All right. And then just a little bit more, you get rid of a little bit more distraction, but you still have some. You're going to be doing 9 times the work. And then if you have 0 distractions, if you're that strong to get rid of all distractions for the time that you're working, you're going to be extremely productive. All right. So you can still get things done being distracted, but try to minimize these distractions to get even more things done. All right. Principle 2, and we kind of covered the mindset things. Let's go and take a quick break and open it up for anybody with any questions or any thoughts that they want to share on that whole principle 1, kind of the mindset of what Ninja's talking about. Anybody have anything?
I have a thought.
Sure.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I'm using a different microphone, so I also have to tell you, I learned a valuable lesson right before this. Don't scratch your eye after eating jalapeno potato chips, because I'm going to be blinking. Like I went and washed. I thought, how bad could that be? But anyway, man, it burns. So at the Ninja installation, the mindset piece is probably the most important piece, because it just requires so much motivation. I took the Ninja installation when I was with Sotheby's before I came to EXP, and they really got into it. And so we really got into the mindset piece, and I can't believe how much it changed me, to where even to this day, I do a lot of the things they suggest in the book in the beginning of the day, because I find when I get away from it for a few days that I do just start getting less motivated, and I get less positive, and I start seeing the things that frustrate me more. So anyway, I experienced that it really made a big difference in the self-motivation we have to build our business, since we don't report and we don't have to be there at a certain time or anything like that. It just kept me on track.
Yeah. Can you briefly talk a little bit about, like, on your most productive days, what are like the things that you do to kind of start your day that propel you into having a productive day?
Well, I definitely sit down and I write 3 positives that are 3 things that I'm thankful for, the very first thing. And then I read a little bit out of a book. Right now I'm doing one that's like a Ryan Holiday's Stoicism type book. It's a daily read, but so I have a little nugget of positivity. And then the Ninja system has you write whatever your major goal for that month is. You kind of write it out. They say 30 times. It gets really tiring, but I could do it in just a couple minutes. And that's like the main part of the positivity, just something little like that. I have some other parts of my routine, but that's the main thing from Ninja that kind of just gets my mindset in that, away from whatever my worries and frustrations are for the day, or at least it lessens them.
Yeah. Well, cool. Thanks for sharing. Anybody else got any questions or comments? All right, we're gonna keep rolling. And try to stay on time. Principle 2 is stop selling and start solving. All right. Selling is giving service, counsel, and value, which is the foundation of Ninja selling. All right. Customers want somebody that they can trust to help them make a good decision. All right. First step is to get people moving towards you. They move to somebody they know, like, and trust, somebody that they feel good or comfortable with. If you have something they value or want, they will move towards you. All right. So we shouldn't be reaching out going, hey, do you want to buy? Hey, do you want to sell? Hey, what, all these things. It's providing value, and it'll go on and here in a little bit about how and what ways we can provide value. Stay in flow with them. This is the biggest thing that I feel, and they talk about it. It's the most important thing. But staying in flow with them means you are having face-to-face interactions with them. You're talking to them on their phone. You're mailing things to them. Your email, your social media. Those are your main sources of flow. And you want it. There's auto flow, and then there's other flow items that we'll talk about. People spend their time and money for two things: anything that solves their problem or eases their pain, or anything that makes them feel good, brings them pleasure. All right. So they talk about pain and pleasure, and we want to find those pains and pleasures of every single customer of ours, so that we can provide a value to help them solve the problem or make them feel good. All right. So that's what a lot of it is based around: how to create value. Think of ways you can solve their problem, make them feel good. Right. Ninjas don't do presentations. We have consultations. Let the customer have possession of time. Well, right now, obviously, I am controlling the possession of time because I'm, hosting this, right? But this is not how you would want to sit down with the customer and going, well, you should sell your house because this and this and this, and this is why I'm the best agent because this and this and this. You should really find yourself asking a bunch of questions and taking notes and finding that pain and pleasure and digging a little bit deeper. All right. Forward questions. Your next question is embedded in their last answer. So when you're really listening to them, you are picking up clues within their answer for the next question to dig a little deeper, or maybe you just discovered what they really need or are looking for. All right, and you're jotting that down. Listen for change, specifically change that affects pain and pleasure. 3 groups of buyers. 15% pay the lowest price. This kind of talks about commission and adjusting your commission. All right. 15% of people just want to pay the lowest. So whoever's going to give them the cheapest commission is going to go with them. All right. 5% want to pay the highest price. There's a small percentage of people that go, if it's the highest price, it must be the best. All right. And then 80% of people pay the best value. All right. And it's our job to show them our value. And there's little tricks of the trade that we could talk about to, show them what we bring to the table and what we can do for them, and then show them the bottom line that get them comfortable with the bottom line. Offer more services for the price. They go really in depth in this, and I would say that I don't cover all of the things that they have, but they pretty much break it down in like a normal agent puts it on the MLS and puts it on the website, blah, blah. And a ninja agent does like 10 times more than that, so you can look at that in the book that I highly recommend. Consider menu pricing. I've thought about this, but I've never done it. But like if you did a basic service for say 2% commission instead of 3% commission, or a full service for full commission. Rick Tankersley talks a little bit about this. And when you present, which we'll try to cover in the next couple of weeks, a listing presentation, and they go, oh my God, you're charging me a full 6%. But before you even get to that number, you've talked to them about all of the things you're going to do. Here's the 12 things I'm going to do for you. All right. This is everything that I provide for my clients. And then they go, can you reduce your commission? Your next question, it's either 2 things. No, I cannot. That's what Rick says. No, I just don't do that. That's not what I do. Or you could go, we can consider that. Which of these 12 things would you like me to get rid of? And they're like, well, I want you to do all of them. I'm like, well, then I need a full 6% to do all of this, right? I'm doing the full service for you. So I think that's a great spin on and deflection of them coming back and saying, can you reduce your commission? All right. So there's different little things like that that we could talk about. So that top 6 services most relevant to buyers and sellers. Right, this is what sellers want. They want access to current and active current, active, and sold data, right? You're going to provide that, obviously. They want a pre-listing packet, info about the market, what's going on, what is the sales process. You know, talk to them about, we're going to go live on Thursday. We're going to have showings. We're going to have, you know, once we get a contract, we're going to talk about that and go through it step by step. Once we accept it, we're going to have an option period. Once we do the option period, we're going to have this and that. So, so we'll continue to talk about those things, but they want to know that what the process looks like, right? And you're going to educate them on that. And then your qualifications. I don't really even talk about that, because when you show them all of these things, you're obviously showing them that you're smart and qualified to do this. All right. A pricing and marketing system with predictable results. They talk about this focusfirst.com. It's an absorption rate and pricing and real analytical statistics. So if you're interested in looking at that, that's something I think you could purchase to provide. A proactive, competent realtor. All right. Obviously, that's what we are. A smooth transaction, right? They don't want any surprises. And you will get things that are like, damn it, that sucks. I'm going to have to tell them. And it's going to suck to pick up the phone and tell them. But guess what? It's better that you tell them as soon as possible than for them to be surprised in the end. All right. And then consistent communication, be the first to call. All right. And similar, buyers want the same type of things, right? They want access to the MLS data. They want a buyer's packet. What do I need to do? What's step 1 through step 8 to buy a house? You know, a process for finding the right house, proactive, competent realtor, smooth transaction, no surprises, and consistent communication. Real quick, I'm gonna take a break here. In the back of Ninja Selling, they have the appendix. Right, and they have some great things about the 10-step buyer process that they recommend, the 16-step seller process. That's not in my notes. I just know that I can refer to that in the book when I need to review that. And I have done that, the buyer process, a couple times, and it's a pretty lengthy process sometimes, but it's pretty cool, because I feel like now all of a sudden they know me a little bit better, I know them a little bit better, and it just creates a more cohesive environment instead of just a transaction. All right, but so I do recommend it. Be a proactive, trusted advisor. Ninjas call the customer first, provide solutions to the customer's pain and pleasure, know the market, know how to negotiate and how to manage. 5 rules of Ninja Selling to become a proactive, trusted advisor. Show up, pay attention, tell the truth and keep your commitments, create value, don't get attached to the outcome. All right. So now we get into a business strategy. These are kind of like this is the type of things that we should be doing and focusing on. And I do reference this conversion ratio pretty frequently, just to kind of remind myself, should I really be spending a lot of time on door knocking? Because according to NAR, I have to knock on 100 doors before one gives me a deal. Or should I focus on my open houses, which is more of 15 to 1? All right. So anyways, there are 15 transactions for every 100 people I know. So 100 people in your database that you feel good, comfortable, and are communicating with, at least a monthly email. Mark Chambers does 2 emails a month, all right, on top of a phone call probably every quarter, and sending personal notes, birthday cards, anniversary cards, things like that. 15 transactions at $6,000 per, and now we're talking about a $90,000 income based off of 100 people that you know and you're communicating with consistently. All right, that's what Ninja predicts. All right, must stay in flow with them, face-to-face, phone, email, text, snail mail, social media. All right, so a lot of times, most of my career, I've been pretty consistent with social media, and it's paid off. This is not a quick thing. This is a long-term. They see I'm active, I'm doing things, I'm doing open houses, so they know that I'm staying in flow with them. Flow fixes everything. If your business is slowing down, it's because your flow has slowed down for whatever reason. All right, so you need to get this flow back up, and I'm talking to myself mainly, but obviously all of you. So that's my focus as we go forward. And then your conversion rates. All right, I believe these are stats from NAR, but again, going down, ad calls, personal contact with friends, sign calls, 20 to 1, Past buyers, for every 9 buyers in the past, they'll give you another deal. Past sellers, and then referrals is the best one. All right. So they say with every 3 referrals you get, you can count on 2 of them using it. All right. So if we could get to that point and make sure that we are providing value, then you should be getting more referrals. It's going to be tough to get referrals at the beginning, but as you start doing business, your sphere trusts you more as a real estate professional and will start reaching out to you and referring you. So keep it up. 4 areas to attract clients. They know you, they like you, they trust you, and you are in flow with them. All right. People refer you if you make them look good. Be consistent. Take care of those people. Flow equals frequency of interaction. All flow must be perceived as valuable, either solving a problem or making them feel good. All right. Customers know 12 realtors. So say you know 100 people. Every single one of them roughly knows 12 seems a little high to me. That's probably a national statistic, but every single person knows multiple realtors. Why are they going to choose you, even though you're friends with them? It's because they're going to choose you because you're in flow with them. 90% of people fail in this business because they're not in flow. All right. The people aren't reaching out to them. So if you are the top 10% and you're staying in flow with them, they're going to choose you rather than other people. I sold a house to my good friend from college. And I know that he's really good friends with another realtor of mine, but I was the one that reached out to him most recently. I was the one that was staying in contact with him, and he decided to use me. All right. And I was like, damn, that ninja selling thing is true. I was in flow with him, auto flow. They say 3 emails or once a week. I tend to think that's a bit much, but if it's valuable, if it's good, if it's not bothering them, go for it. All right. Mail and email, they recommend. Set it to auto and forget about it. Newsletters, market updates, etc. There's different ideas you can find on YouTube for all that stuff. And then your live flow is the 50 live interactions per week, face-to-face or phone. Everybody counts as long as you ask them a forward question. Right. So we've talked about the greatness tracker before. Anytime that I talk to somebody during the week and I ask them a forward question or touch base with them, I write their name in a little block on my greatness tracker. I talk to that person, and we didn't even talk about real estate, but we were in flow. I talked to them, and now I might talk to them in a month or 2 months, and I'm just staying in flow with them. Right. So those are the 50 live interactions. Don't talk to them. 50 sounds a little crazy, like 50, God, that sounds like a lot. It's 10 a day, Monday through Friday. Maybe 5 in the morning and 5 in the afternoon or evening. It's really not that bad. You should be able to try to talk to at least 10 people a day, And again, maybe you talk to 10 people in a day and you don't even mention real estate. You're just asking the forward questions. That counts, and that's going to keep you in flow. 4 criteria for the best flow. This is how we come up with what the hell are we going to say when we're in flow with them. All right. Valuables. It solves a problem or makes them feel good. Those personal notes that they talk about. So many times I get a text message or a response and go, hey, I got your card in the mail. Thanks so much. It made them feel good. All right. That's all I did. I didn't say, hey, do you want to buy real estate? Or hey, do you know anybody? It just made them feel good. And I have my business and card in there, and they know I'm in real estate. That's the whole purpose of it, right? Customize info for your neighborhood or home. All right. Personalized, attach a personal note with the statistics that you're providing. Combination of art and science. Art is personal notes, relevant news, giveaways, tickets. Is Oktoberfest coming up in your area? Can you send out a flyer about Oktoberfest and the activities going on in the fall? Halloween, trick or treat down here at this church. Send that, hey, anybody come on by, whatever it is, right? Coupons, gift certificates, happy birthdays and anniversary cards, invitations to events. All right. I started doing this just recently. I have a separate Google Calendar that I just went to Facebook and looked up all of the birthdays for October and put them in my calendar, and November and December, and put them in there. And I pull up my calendar on Monday and I go, oh, look, Brad's birthday is on Wednesday. Perfect. I don't even have to think about it. I'm just going to write him a happy birthday card, throw a $5 gift card in there from Starbucks, tell him happy birthday, put it in the mail today. It's there. All right. And super easy. What I love about this is, again, I don't have to sit there and go, who am I writing a personal card to today? Like that's boom, that's one, right? A birthday card, super easy. Invitations to events, right? Sciences, locator maps, quarterly neighborhood statistics, newsletters about the market, how to invest brochure, financing and refinancing, right? When rates went really low, maybe you could help out your lender partner by sending him refinance deals. You're not making commission, but you're helping your people be educated and helping them save money. And guess what? When they do decide to sell, they're going to be thankful that you helped them. All right. Just listed sold cards, annual real estate reviews, classes, and events. Flow program is not an expense. It's an investment in your friends, customers, and relationships. Pecking order of flow, face-to-face is the best. Then voice-to-voice, text, mail, email, advertise. Sometimes I get lazy and I go straight to text, but I know that it's better to try to get them on the phone call. All right, just give them a call, even if you know that they're probably at work, they probably won't answer, and then I follow it up immediately with the text. So social media consistently, that's good. I look at this and pat myself on the back. I don't spend too much money on advertising because I'm kind of doing all these other things, right? But obviously it works. It's good flow. 3 mailings, emails per month is bottom line, and 50 live interactions or interviews over the phone. Power of 8 and 8. This is kind of an 8-week what to follow up with for either people in your sphere or people that you just met at open house, whatever it is. Maybe you got their address, send them a personal note. Hey, just thinking about you. All right. Whatever it is. The next week, you're going to send them something of value. Maybe they're new in the area, whatever it is. Send them a map of things. Send them a flyer of Oktoberfest. Send them, hey, I just wanted to let you know about this. Something else. Send them a value. So 2 weeks in a row. Week 4, you're sending a market update or a newsletter. All right. Week 5, you're sending them a brochure on property taxes. Whatever, it doesn't have to be these exact things, and you could get creative. I guarantee you, if you could look stuff up on YouTube, and you'll have all kinds of different ideas. Send summary of home sales in their specific neighborhood. All right. Week 7, you're going to call them and invite them to lunch. In week 8, you're going to go have lunch or coffee with them. Right. And could be to like kind of rekindle a relationship that you haven't spoken to these people in forever. And you're just going to send out things. And all of a sudden they're seeing you on a week-to-week basis. If you want to spread this out to every other week, I don't see that there's a problem with that. Of course, it's going to take you twice as long. All right. But then it's, less like hounding, maybe, if you feel uncomfortable doing it weekly. Just some thoughts. Flow is the key to maintaining your relationships after closing. 5 ways to use 8 and 8. Build a new relationship of people that you just met. Rebrand yourself, all right, with your database. Rejuvenate a stale database if you haven't talked to them forever. Annual refresher with your database. Geographical farming, all right. So how to set up, create 6 flow items. They just kind of showed you some, but you could come up with your own. All right. 7th week is a phone call. 8th week is a meeting. With a large database, stagger your starts with about 5 people a week. So you don't want to do 25 people in the first week and the same 25. So let's say you do the first 5 week 1. All right. In the second week, they're on week 2, but this week you're starting a new 5 on week 1. So it's staggered along the way. So that you're not having, I have 50 meetings in week 8 with 50 people. I can't even schedule everybody. All right. So it's just 5 when we get to that week. And then now you're having 5 meetings every single week for the next 8 weeks. That's probably pretty good. how to generate business. We're going to skip a little bit of that. All this is good. If you'd like me to share this document with you, I can do that. I think I've maybe shared it with a couple people. Send me a note, however you do that in here. Just say, send it to my email address or put in your email address so I can send this to you. Show up for work. Ninjas are in the office between 8 and 9 and ready for showtime. Work on your business in the morning and work in your business in the afternoon. Afternoons are for showings and appointments. Mornings are for generating business and running your flow. Running your flow systems is the most important activity you can do. Ninjas who work on their flow systems in the morning have an abundance of business in the afternoon. Become a rainmaker. If you don't have business in the afternoon, go play a round of golf. Take the afternoon off. You have plenty of business most afternoons. All right. And then I've talked about Ninja 9 quite a bit, and this kind of goes a little bit more in depth, but an attitude of gratitude, all right, is number 1, and then show up and stay on agenda, right? Distractions destroy excellence, resist the temptation, all right? Put your phone away from you or turn it around, whatever it is, all right? And then write 2 personal notes. If you did that consistently, that's 500 in a year. You're making a lot of, and remember, for every 100, you're doing 15 deals. So probably if you just did this alone, you're probably going to be generating quite a bit of business, so staying in touch with people. And these are, you go, well, what am I going to write on this personal note? Write a thank you note. Hey, thanks for taking my phone call the other day. It was great catching up, whatever it is. Write a congratulations. Hey, congratulations on the new job. Congratulations on being a BOA finalist. I know how hard that is. You guys are awesome. Whatever it is. That just happened this weekend. All right. I was just thinking of you. All right. Or happy birthday or happy anniversary. So those are things to, if you go, who am I going to write to this morning? I'm running out of ideas. Think about those type of things or others that you come up with. Focus on your hot list. Clients doing something in the next 90 days. Who wants to write a contract this week? All right. Focus on your warm list. Clients are doing something the next year. 20% of your database should be on here. All right. These are the people that are in your database. Say you're 100 people and you have 20 of them on your warm list that are going, yeah, you know what? We are interested. We're not ready to buy anything right now, but we have the idea of buying something. They should definitely be on your warm list, and you are staying in real good flow with them. Not obnoxious, but really focusing on that. Have they had all of these are questions of going, look at each one in your database and go, have they had their kids graduate and move on to college recently? Are they empty nesters? Are they, is their employment changed recently? Did they inherit a bunch of money recently? So there's different things that could trigger, go, ooh, this person might be good to call to see if they're thinking about doing something else. All right. Scroll over that. Business tracker, warm list, hot list, under contract, closed. I've showed you that before. Keep buckets full at all time. The flow will increase your income and stabilize it as well. And the 4 weekly habits are focus on your customer service calls. If they're calling you first, then you're failing. They are your best source of referrals. My next transaction is embedded in this transaction. And then your live real estate reviews, all right, providing them detailed analysis of their particular house and how much it's worth and what they could walk away with, all right. And then 50 live interviews, all right. Those are the same thing that we've been talking about. And update your database weekly. Keep it fresh, update constantly. Focus, I love this, and this is what I talk about. And you hear a lot about setting goals, which I don't. It is great to think about, but I am a big believer in this. If I'm having a productive day, it's going to lead to a productive month, which is going to lead to a productive year, right? If I go weeks without really doing anything, any of these activities, then it's going to dry up, all right? So instead of going, I'm going to make $200,000 this year, that is my goal. But and it's going to break it down. And honestly, this is how I feel. I start breaking it down and going, oh shit, I got to sell like 2.5 houses a month. And I start stressing about that. I'm like, how am I going to do that? All right. And then it just becomes overwhelming a little bit. But if I go, man, I'm just going to start doing my daily activity and start working it, it's going to build up and you're going to get there. And this thing is a freaking snowball effect is what I found out. But as soon as you stop building the snowball, it starts melting. All right. So build the snowball and it starts rolling and it starts picking up speed. And all of a sudden your business goes from, okay, I made $80,000. Cool. And guess what? I feel like I didn't really work that much more the next year. And now I'm making $120,000 because I'm just kind of continuing to let it build upon itself. But if you just sit there, it will start melting like Olaf. So you don't want that to happen. All right. So 8 calls that create value, update your customers, recently closed customers, see if they need anything, referral sources, say thank you and update sources, home anniversaries, wedding anniversaries, 8 and 8 systems, tickets and giveaways, annual real estate. I saw this one dude that I know, he has Spurs tickets and he posted and he's like, let me know what game you want to go to. Like he's, I guess, just giving them away. I'm sure he's selling them a little bit, but pretty cool, you know, to go all of a sudden here, hey customer, I can't go to this game. Boom, here's some tickets. I know you like the Spurs. That I'm sure that goes a long ways, right? Annual real estate review, thank yous, congratulations. The 5-step calling process, a salutation and greeting, ask a forward question, purpose of call, ask them another forward question, and get off the phone. Quick, you know, that they're probably working, you went in and out. And if it becomes lengthy, be like, hey, let's catch up and grab a beer next week. It's been a while, all right? Then all of a sudden now you have a face-to-face, right? The more appointments you have in person, the more contracts you're gonna get. Key points, keep calls short and sweet. Just went over that. 5 reasons phone is better than email. Customer preference, 78% prefer to talk to you rather than get an email. It's faster, it's better. You have more of their attention while talking to them, and you pick up on nuance. All right, you can't pick up on nuance through a text message. All right, referrals by asking the forward questions, and it works. Agents that use the phone are more productive. Avoid the nasties by communicating consistently before they get really pissed off and ugly and don't like you. All right, communicate up front. Ninja 9 is designed to never put you in the position of being rejected. They create value. Fear is the absence of love. Focus on your customers and your fears will go away. How can I make someone's life better? How can I make them feel good? How can I help them solve a problem? Building your database. If you don't have a database, you're not serious about this career. You really can't achieve scalability without a database. 2 things needed as you build your database: intention, set a time to work on your database weekly, add, edit, delete. Patience, the goal is to add 2 to 3 households per week. I think that's a little on the low side, but yeah, even if you did 3 a week, all right, that's what 12 a month. That's over 100 additional people adding to your database a year. So you do that for 2 years, your database is growing pretty healthy. All right, so keep that in mind. How's the market? People will ask this pretty consistently. Well, the market's great, you know, especially right now. Like, oh, I'm sure you're loving it right now. It's so hot, you know. Instead of like, yeah, the market's great, you know, ask them, well, what part of the market are you interested in, or what part of the market are you asking about? Are you investing? Are you buying? Are you selling? Different parts of the city are different. All right, so find out why they're asking that. All right, ninjas ask good questions and listen. 5 ways to find and meet people: meetings, events, and parties, working the room, name tag if you attend events, name tag table, open houses, Facebook. All right, ninjas pull info from Facebook and then call, text, or personal note. I like this. This is fun because I go, well, I know I need to call Mark Kale, but what the hell am I going to talk about? I pull up Facebook and I type in Mark Kale's Facebook and I go, oh, damn, just last month he was at, you know, Colorado Yeah, I'm gonna ask him about that. Now that gives me a thing to discuss, and not just, hey, Mark, I'm calling you. All right, bye. You know, um, so find something to connect with. And 3 laws of real estate: location, timing, all right, and relationship. People prefer to work with somebody they have a relationship with. All right. And obviously, cold calling works. Those are people you don't have a relationship with, but you start forming a relationship with them. Maybe you do the 8 and 8, and now all of a sudden they're comfortable with you. They're Now they're in your database, right? Now you have that connection, and as soon as that clicks, they feel comfortable with you moving forward. Birthday calendar, we've talked about that. Formatting your database with clients' info. These are a great list of things you should probably have on every single person in your database. Contact info, obviously, numbers, emails, addresses, and Facebook. Family, what's the spouse's name? What's their kids' names, pets' names, birthdays, anniversaries? Because now you can extend it to, hey, I know their kid's name and their birthday. I'm going to go ahead and send them a little something for their kid's birthday. That's another touch, right? That'd be pretty cool. Occupation, where are they working? How long have they been there? What are the titles? Recreation, oh, I know this guy likes to really golf a lot. I need a foursome for my fourth for my playing partner. Let me call him and see if he wants to go play golf. All right. What do they like to do? Dreams, and then the details about their real estate holdings. Does this person have 3 rental properties? That's a good friend right there that you need to be in contact with. All right. How to categorize your database: A's are your highest rating fans that are going to refer you business. B's will refer if you ask them. All right. And they should be on auto flow and all these different things. All right. C's is most of your database will be in C. They'll do business with you if you are in flow with them. If not, they're going to go, oh, well, that other realtor was in flow with me, so I just used them because I forgot that you were a realtor. All right. You haven't stayed in touch with them. And then D's are people you just met and you want to develop a relationship with. All right. I'm not going to go over all of these, but these are 15 great ideas to stay in contact with after the close. All right. So they bought a house. You're going to check in with them in a couple of days. 2-week month check in. 1 month, 3 months, 6 month anniversary. Her birthday. Remind him 3 days before in case he forgot about her birthday. Things like that. All right. The power of Pi. I referenced this the other day. It's great. We want to live in P, right? The P is for you, the customer in the contract. You're on a listing appointment. You're presenting a contract. You're showing houses. You're negotiating, right? That's the nuts and bolts of writing up a contract and executing it. I is the flow time. You're making customer service calls. This is the morning time. Real estate reviews, interviews, personal notes, running your auto flow. The more I time you do, the more P time you're going to do, the more money you're going to have. All right. So if you want more business, you got to focus on these things. All right. And Tony, are you listening? Like, you got to do these things. Right. So increase your I time to increase your P time, schedule and do your Ninja 9. And E is everything else. All right. So coming up with a cool YouTube video, which is great, and I want to do, but don't focus on doing that until you're taking care of this. All right. And maybe you take care of all of this Monday through Thursday, and you get to Friday and you have a free day, and that's the time that you are producing content. And that's a whole nother thing that we could get into, which I'm starting to get into because I think it's valuable and I want to do it and it seems fun. All right. But I also have to go, this is the nuts and bolts. This is where I'm going to make my money, really. All right. And that other stuff is going to grow me once I'm taking care of this stuff. Platinum rule: treat others like you want to be treated, fit into their personality and how they want to be sold or treated. All right. And you're going to run into all kinds of different people. And especially us educators, we're used to that, different types of students. And you kind of have to adjust to their personalities. That's what this kind of talks about, right? You don't want to be super powerful with a very soft-spoken person, right? You're not going to connect. Let's see. The 85% perfect home. All right. There's never going to be a perfect home. Even if they build it, they're still going to find issues with it. But if it's 85 to 90%, they need to strongly consider it. I've used that line before with buyers that I've gone, okay, we've looked at 16 houses in the past couple of days. Like, I know it's not perfect, but could you see yourself being here? You know, is it 90%? Because 90% is pretty damn good. So that comes up from time to time. And then this kind of gets into the appendix side of things. I don't think I'm going to go through all of this. I was talking to Mark Hill before doing this. He was like, man, there's just so much information. I could have done a whole hour on like one or two things and just dove deep. Again, let me know in a text message or whatever. If you want me to share this document with you, I'm more than happy to do it. You can go through it. But yeah, you control your process. I think there was one thing in here. Your actions, your reactions, and your mindset. I know that's somewhere in here. But those are the three things you control. Actions, reactions, something's going to happen to you. How do you react to it? And then your mindset. All right. So stay focused on that. So yeah. Any questions? Good Lord, I've talked a lot. Need to take some water. Mark, you got anything?
One thing I was thinking about when you were talking is the audiobook that came out. Larry Kendall, he's the one who is the founder of Ninja Selling. He actually, is the narrator on the audiobook, and I really like it because, he just knows how to emphasize certain things or whatever. So it's nice to have that playing in the car as I'm driving all the way, everywhere. So, I mean, I look at this system as it covers everything. So, anything you do is really hard. It takes a long time to get good at all the aspects of it. So this is just a nice, concise system that somebody starting out can keep going back to. Have the audiobook playing, you've got the hard copy to refer to lists and this and that. But I think that's worth getting.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of audiobook, I know you've listened to a bunch of podcasts before, and I'm sure you still do. I posted a podcast that I listened to today, and I like this Neil Mathwig. I think I've talked to you guys about him before. Highly recommend Agent Rise podcast. And what I like about him and him and Kyle Handy podcast. I put Kyle Handy's up on the Facebook group earlier today. Check it out. What I like about it is like it's a 13 to 17 minute podcast. Boom, boom, boom. Here's the quick information. Next, right? It's not super long. And it's just really good information. Kyle Handy was a broker before he came over to EXP and has built his team up. And he gives like his thing is just giving back to the real estate community, right? And training. He does a bunch of YouTube stuff as well. But I was listening to his podcast. You should definitely take a look at it. It was New Real Estate Agent Checklist, 12 Tips for Success. And of course, I know a lot of us on here are newer. So take a listen to that. It's like literally 12 minutes, I think it is. And then right now, I'm in the middle of Neil Mathwig's one that says making phone calls easier for real estate agents. It's I have 10 minutes left on that. And I like it so far. I like a lot of his stuff. Just his delivery is great. But he talks about, we're uncomfortable on the phone and we don't want to bother them. And again, it kind of goes back to providing value. All right. But he gives great little tips and insight as to how to make those phone calls easier. Because I think majority of us, well, I'll say 90% of real estate agents struggle with that. And that's why they fail. All right. So it's a combination of things. I am not a big phone call guy, but I do it fairly consistently. All right. I'm pretty big into the open houses, or that's kind of how I built up momentum for my business, and the social media thing. It built up momentum. Those are kind of my cornerstones. And now I look at it as to how am I going to take my business to the next level? Can I really commit into giving more value to my database, because my database is pretty healthy. All right. And how can I help really invest back into that to perpetrate my business going forward? So yeah, no, a lot of good stuff. Definitely the audiobooks are great. And I will probably read Ninja Selling again sometime. I'm reading some other ones, and it's one of those books from the very first time I started reading that every single 30-minute session that I did in reading it, I put it down. I was like, wow, damn, that was really good. I love those few little nuggets that I just read, and it not necessarily motivated me, but I was like, ooh, that's really good. I really like that. And it pretty much did that to me every single time I picked it up. So I'm a big believer in it, and take as much as you want out of it. And some things, I'll be honest, there's some of this that I'm like, nah, I don't think I'm going to do that quite, but make it yours. So that's what I would say about it. Cool. Anything else?
Really quick, because you brought him up, Neil Mathwig just had a book come out. Actually, did you see that?
I did see that. Yeah, I follow him on social media now. Yeah, Agent Rise. I'm sure it's great information. He charges $600 a month for coaching. So I was like, but I thought about it, and who knows? I might sign up maybe later. But yeah, his information is great. And for me, I'm going to listen to all of his podcasts. I'm probably going to buy his book, and just go, let me gather as much information as he's sharing and try to implement it myself. So yeah, absolutely. Gather as many of those books out there as possible. The more the merrier, right? It has great information, and go, ooh, I really like that. That's what I'm going to do. So yeah, check it out. Cool. Well, I hope you guys got something out of it. Again, please feel free to reach out to me. With all my people, I try to make sure that we're talking one-on-one on a phone call at least once a week. And that's what I'm trying to stay committed to for all of you. But again, if something comes up, it doesn't matter when, it doesn't matter if we just talked, please text me, please call me, please ask questions. If I don't know that you need help, then I can't help you. And if I can't help you, then I'm going to find somebody to help you. All right. So it doesn't matter if you're in the DFW area. We will get somebody on the phone that can help you out and make sure that you don't feel lost. So build the database. Your real estate business is not a real estate business until you have a true database. So have it somewhere in a Google sheet and an Excel file and KV Core, whatever it is. You need to have a list of names with preferably addresses, phone numbers, email address, etc. All right. And if you don't have that, that is step one to getting it going. Well, cool. Thanks for listening to me that whole time. We'll try to maybe next time do something a little bit more interactive instead of me just reading to you. But hopefully you got something out of this. I would love to share this with you guys, so let me know. And that is it for today. Hope you have a good weekend.